Hey everyone, I hope you are well. So a couple of things today. First, I'll wait. I'll wait for Q for a couple of minutes, and I'm trying a new camera like directly on my iPhone through an app called Camo, uh, which I think is pretty cool. But anyway, that's why we have the watermark here. And so today, basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep working on that Doodle alternative that we've been talking about for the past few weeks. So let me share my screen briefly while we wait for Q. So the idea is in previous weeks we did the nav bar, and we also started doing the container for. So this is step one of three. And today we're going to work on step two. So, step two is let's do this. Boom. Let's say we web hackathon, which is going on right now. I don't know if some of you are participating. We're having build sessions in GatherTown. If you don't know it, we have our virtual offices in GatherTown. So, we've been doing that this week. And hey there, it's fun. It's fun. And this is the screen we're going to be working on today. So, step two of three. So, I'm wondering who's in the chat today. Let me. I'm just going to check that. So sometimes we have issues with Twitch and the chats from from Twitch and YouTube. So let me just check if the comments are coming through. Let's see. Okay, looks like yes. Hey, Scott. Jack is here as well from DC. Okay, cool. Nice to have you here. And Jack, actually, you're participating in the hackathon, right? What are you building? Scott is building on WeWeb as we speak. Very cool. I can't remember what you're working on, Jack. If you wanna, I think Q and Artidor is coming from Reims as well. Hey, Q.
Yo, sorry, I'm a bit late.
No worries. You were on a Zoom call, and that's just
Yeah,
like I know how much you love those. So
I
everything
really
is.
love Zoom, by the way. And that's the irony because it just kept on updating. I'm like, oh, come on. Yeah, I was sorry, trash talking already, but yeah.
Yeah. So we've got Scott and Jack and Artidor in the chat. Artidor is from Reims, so our CPO is from Reims. I don't know if we've mentioned that in previous. I think we mentioned it once during the chat, but Reims, for those who don't know, is the region of France where you have
Champagne.
all the champagne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Jack is. Yeah, I remember now. Jack is working on a local holiday gift guide, like a marketplace, and we web for the hackathon right now, which is pretty cool. So Q, yeah, I was
Yeah.
showing people basically that we're going to be working on this screen. Do you
hmm
want to take over and start building
Yeah.
on the project?
Let me
Cool.
open the app actually. Because I still have to
What about
scroll
you,
in our
Scott?
like Slack to find the URL. I think I'm not on the
Oh,
project.
sorry, you're
No
not on the
worries.
project. Wait, here-
Yeah,
here's the
sorry.
link, and I
No, I
will
found
right
it.
away. Actually, let me.
Ah, yeah, because I'm in the friends
I'll just.
project, so thanks for sending it to
I'll
me
share
again.
the. As we speak, I'll share my screen and invite you to
Nice.
in there if I remember how to do that. So back to projects, members,
Yeah,
and
because,
I will invite.
yeah. So
Q.
let me share my screen.
Anyway,
Bim.
there we go. Okay, let me kill mine then.
activate my cursor, zoom, launch ready with 3L.
And yeah, Scott, I was wondering what you're working on. We have a lot of new people on Twitch. Feel free to say hi, if you have any questions. So basically what we'll do today is Q will build this, and I mean, he'll comment whenever he needs to, but very often commenting kind of slows down the flow. So feel free to interrupt with questions and we'll get that. We'll answer them.
Yeah.
Scott is working on an internal underwriting tool for the company he works for. What is an underwriting tool? Internal underwriting tool?
Yeah, I
I
don't
guess
know
it's
what
an
this is
internal
too.
tool, but
Okay, so last time what we had is like we made the first part of the poll, and the way to switch from this part to the other one is just to change the step. So as you see, we are step 2, we have the same thing, but here we'll design this part here. So if I remember well, what I've done last time is that I was using the full width for this, so 100%, nice. And then I was pushing using these two, so let me check the
you have a
width
step 2 in
of this
your...
thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Scott is saying that there's lots of data in this real estate underwriting. And I'm curious, Scott, what backend are you using? Hi, Thomas. Thomas is building a AI. He's generating like Dungeons and Dragon characters using OpenAI in a WeWeb project.
That's so cool.
It's very cool.
That's
Actually,
really
let me try
cool.
to find the project.
I would use it already.
Zano, very cool, Scott.
So here we actually have to change everything because the form container, the thing is, here we want, as you see, this like grayish part to be taking the full width with the buttons, and here we want 2 divs that take half of it. So what we will do is that we will remove the form containers, and this is in the form container, so that wouldn't be able to extend the whole width, and we'll just like put 3 divs. The first 2 ones, they will be 50% width, so take like half of the space, and the other one will be full width and we'll wrap under it because we'll be using Flexbox. So let me do this already. Form container. Okay. So let me add 3 divs. 1 and just copy paste to 3. Let's give them a color.
French, but it's in French, but I'll share the tweet from Thomas in the chat, so you can see like the image that was generated for the character, and there's text. It's in French, but it's really cool. It's a lot of fun.
So width will be doing double this, so 80. Then I want this div to be 50%, this one to be 52, and no, not 500, please. And this one 100, perfect. Then I want, my divs to be like that and wrapping. So you see, because I switched to horizontal, like the 2 divs here, they switch like one they're on the same line now, and the other one is wrapping under, because we authorize wrap, and it's taking 100% of the space, so the browser knows that he has to wrap it underneath. So what we could do now is...
Have you zoomed in already?
Yeah, I think 125. I can maybe more.
No,
it's getting...
looks good.
Yeah.
It's because I'm on the small screen on Restream.
Okay. Then here it will be date and times, and here it will be CTAs. Because CTA, if you don't know, because it's a marketing term, it's like call to action, so it's the buttons. Then what I like to do, I know it's kind of a procrastination thing, but I like to do the easy part first because this thing will be actually harder, obviously. But just to have like some space here, I will do like just the icons and then the buttons. So to do this, let me check. I just have to add an icon and a text actually. So icon here and a text. So text. Here on this div, it's also a flexbox. So let's use vertical and center them. And so we have this sorted already. Then let's change the icon. So actually, some people ask us what are the icons here. So here it's WeWeb icons. So our designer just created them. But if you want to use this one like FR or arrow icons, it's basically font awesome and arrow icons. So you can search for their names here on fontawesome.com. I will send it to you in the chat. And hero icons here, we'll send it also to you. And for example, if I were to use Font Awesome, I could search for, like, for example, calendar. See that it exists, and then I just have to use the same name. So like here it's FR regular, FR calendar. So in WeWeb, FR regular, calendar. It's this one. Maybe I should use this one. It's prettier.
It's funny, I saw in the WeWeb icons there's H1, H2, H3, H4. I don't know why anybody would use those.
I have no idea. And basically our designer is changing them, and we're using arrow icons now because they are like the icons made by cool. the Tailwind guys. So I don't know if some people
didn't even know we had those.
Yeah, we just added those because we're switching all of our icons internally for WeWeb also to arrow icons. And it's really cool because those are made by the people at from Tailwind, and it's kind of the go-to CSS framework now nowadays.
Yeah.
And Font Awesome is known because it was used by Bootstrap also back in the days. So most of the people they use Font Awesome, and now they use arrow icons.
And by the way, something that is new as well, we just added yesterday, and I used it like within 20 minutes of it being added by accident. I didn't even know, but in the UI kit, you now have a responsive sidebar element. It's actually a section, and yeah, it's really cool. So actually, for this, it's right at the end, I think, in the navigation. Yeah.
Oh.
So you have the responsive sidebar, and so it'll be yeah. Anyway, it's funny because Flo added it yesterday around 12 p.m. and he sent me a video explaining it. I didn't watch the video because I was busy, and then in the afternoon, a user asked me how he could do a sidebar. So I looked in the UI kit and found this and said, "Well, this is." But anyway, so this is new, and it's really cool because then you'll have the hamburger menu in mobile mode or even on.
Oh yeah, that's cool because
So yeah,
it's not easy to do. I would recommend like not doing it, like using this element, because like doing the hamburger menu is, it's not really complex, you know, but doing everything with workflows in no code is kind of like really long to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to swap mine out. You're right, Scott.
Go for it. And we're going to prepare a tutorial to explain, because it has a little added complexity, but that makes it more powerful. So we'll work on a tutorial next week so we can, if you're stuck, oh god, here's from Slavo, so it must be pretty good. But
yeah, Slavo is pretty good.
Yeah, he's really good.
If you try the theorem template, actually the whole design was done by Slavo. I've done the logic behind it, but the whole design was Slavo, and like the way he's done the dropdown, I really loved it.
Yeah, he's the man for sure.
Okay, let me check this grayish, because we always forget what kind of gray it is. F9, FA, FB. So I think we've got this in the design system already. Let me make it bigger just to see. Maybe it's borders.
I think it's the placeholder one. Oh no.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's placeholder definitely, because it was too. Yeah. So I don't know what's the size of it. So I will try to just do the same. 8 free rem. Free rem is what? I always forget what the rem is in pixels. Pretty sure some people will say it in the chat.
1 is 16.
1 is 16, yeah, so 48, yeah, obviously. So 48, boom. And that's it for the icon. Now the text. So you can do everything in the DevTools, but because I'm used to using my extensions, I have one just to check for the, like, let me move this. I can send you the links of all these extensions, by the way, but it's one to check the texts. They are like colors, and you can also type to see what it's like using this font, you know. It's really cool. When you've got like some website that you want to, like you like the font, you can reuse it. I think it's called Font Ninja, something like this. So anyway, if some people want to use it, I can send it to you in the chat. But in the meantime, so it's medium, 9C A3AF. So inter, medium, how much was it? In pixels, 16 pixels, we have this already. And the grayish is, I think it's the same normally, placeholder, yeah. Then we probably have a margin or padding here. Yeah, we have like margin bottom 2, so 16 pixels. Yeah, you told me? Yeah, I haven't really no memory at all. So it's 32,
I think 1 is 16.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So margin bottom 42. Oh, it's huge. What the hell?
But you already had padding, no? Or did you remove the padding?
No. I don't have any padding. Maybe it's 16. Yeah, seems about right. Okay, yeah. So now let's do the bottom part with the buttons. And because we are lazy, we'll use a trick in WeWeb. It's just to copy paste this button. Actually, this whole thing. I will show you how we've done it before, but yeah, like so that it works already. So this is basically a div with 1 pixels border top, yeah, like grayish. So you see this slight border here. I don't know if you can see it in the stream, but there's a slight border at the top of it to like differentiate it from the white content. Then the background is also kind of a grayish thing. Yeah, so it's background color, this one, FA, F8, FC. And we've got rounded corners for the bottom corners. So they are here, border radius, corner radius 12, 12. And one important thing to do is that on the main container, so this one, step 2, you need to have also the corner radius. Because if you don't do this, what will happen is that the main div, it will overflow in the angles, and you will see kind of a weird thing. Let me show you, it will be easier to see. But like the white will go over the gray because it will go like over the rounded edges. So if I remove the 12 pixels here, see, I don't know if it's really visible, we'll zoom, but here you've got kind of a whitish thing and also the shadow not following the rounded edges.
Yeah, it's hard to see, but I think you'll notice it when if it happens in one of your projects, because it's a very little annoying thing that you don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
And so just keep in mind that if that happens, this is the issue. Like the corner radius needs to be added to the container as well.
Yeah, typically when you have like a big div And in charge of the shadows, for example, this is the case of the borders, and you have another div that should follow also this path. Like you have to apply it to both, and that's something that's specific to HTML and CSS, so sadly you have to do it. But hopefully, as we will release in the future new UI kits and also the marketplace early next year, you will have this thing sorted out already. But if it happens in your design, yeah, be sure to check that.
And Brian is saying, thanks for all your hard work. They've been keeping track of new developments, and it's really exciting to see what WeWeb is transforming into. I have a lot of hope for its growth in the future. That's really nice. Thanks a lot for your kind words. It helps us through the, when the days are a bit long and tough. It's nice to hear that. We're working on a lot of things. We're working on, making our user doc better, making our academy better, making our public roadmap better, and so it's making the product better, of course. So yeah, it's nice to hear those encouraging words. And I'd love to know what you're working on as well, Brian. If you want to share, feel free. Anyone in the chat who wants to. And actually, if anyone wants to join us, like present one of their projects in future streams, don't hesitate to reach out to us directly. We're more than happy to showcase your projects, in the live session.
Yeah. So these divs.
How can you help WeWeb grow? Scott is asking how he can loves the platform too, and how he can help us grow. Well, actually, yeah. If you want to come and basically right now, what I think one of the areas where it's more and more people know about us, but people are still sometimes a little bit afraid to give us a try because they don't know, we're more recent than big companies like Webflow or Bubble. So and a lot of our users have their apps behind authentication, so we can't showcase them. So anyone who can showcase their project, that really helps us a lot, because it helps us show that you can build really powerful web apps that scale with WeWeb and Xano, for example, as a backend. A lot of our users love the WeWeb Xano combo or WeWeb Superbase. But anything you can do to show that you can build real things with WeWeb, that helps us a lot.
Yeah.
Happy Friday.
Joel.
Hi, Joel. Good to see you.
Yeah, because basically we're both marketeers and we're kind of not struggling, but we're getting there. But yeah, as Joyce said, a lot of projects that are internal. So even if you have like side projects that you're proud of, or it can seem like silly things, but just showcasing them, it will help us tremendously. And talking about it on social networks, or if we could add them on the website, I don't know, this could be awesome for us.
We're working on a new showcase page, so I think we will publish it in a couple of weeks. And Brian, I'm writing down to ping you an email to ask if you're okay. Same with Scott. So if you want to ping me, if you want to email me at joyce@weweb.io, to discuss any way we can promote your projects as well, because it's we want it to be a two-way street. Don't hesitate to email me.
Just send your email. You will get spammed. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so where was I? So on this div, it's a Flexbox also, horizontal. We're pushing everything to the end. Yeah.
Can I interrupt again? Because Thomas is asking, any idea why I only see my own message in the chat? Do you mean the support chat?
Like the live chat.
Or do you mean the WeWeb support chat in the app, or do you mean you built a chat in your app?
I know what you mean,
the Twitch chat. Okay.
All the other people, they're on YouTube.
Okay,
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, we have people on YouTube and on Twitch. That's why we're... yeah, that's true. We should... Okay.
So, let me get back to it. I will do a second button. So, the back one. I just have to change, actually, the text. So back, use the black text and a white background. So text color 000. White background is here, like not transparent but white. Okay, because it's transparent. Yeah, okay. Oh. I mean, come on, yeah. Okay. Now my border, I imagine it's one big solid and borders. Yeah, getting nice. And we'll add some margin here on the right. 16, I think. Yep-ish. Yeah, I think it's almost the same. Okay. I'm doing this by head because I know that the guy that has done rally is using Tailwind. I'm using a lot Tailwind recently, so I'm getting to to know these values now. But if you're like wondering what are those values, just you can check here on the website. But the best practice is like on your all the margin paddings, font size is to use like multiples of something. So like 6, 8, I don't know, but always multiples. Otherwise you will have like some stuff that looks silly if you're like changing by 1 pixel, because the human eye is actually really good at seeing things that are not aligned properly, that are not pixel perfect. So just use multiples and it should be okay. Then here I will set maybe the height to something. Height fixed. Let's use 440. Yeah. Okay, so that it's a square. Now, let's do the hard part. Just before this, no date selected. No dates selected. Okay. Now here, for this part, so we have like 3 things that are aligned. The 2 buttons here and the month. Actually, to do this, we could use a flexbox or columns, any way we want. And here for the month, we'll do the same, like on a specific div. And then this is actually a flexbox with all elements taking the same space. And you just have to make sure that every one of them is taking 1/7 of the width, because you've got obviously 7 days in a week, so that you know that they are even on each line and they will wrap under, like every time you hit, for example, the 8th day, it will wrap under as a new line. So let's do the first part, November 2022. So let's use a div. Yep. So here, where did it go? In calendar, yeah, obviously. Let's call it month. And then inside it, I cannot cheat because I will reuse this button because it looks almost the same. By the way, let's just change their name. So this is the back button and the continue button. So let's just copy the back one here. And then what we want to do is remove, for the moment, the margin, remove the text. A cool thing that you can do in buttons, when there are actual buttons inside WeWeb, is to, in their settings, use a right or left icon. Here it's the same, because as we don't have any, if you use the left or right one, they will be centered, so it won't change anything. Just a button, it's no submit button. Here, same, it's a button, a button.
And what does the disabled thing do on buttons?
You can't click on them. It's useful when you want to do workflows, for example, like when you have, for example, a form that's not entirely filled out and you want to disable it while it's not filled out, for example.
Ah, yeah. Okay, got it.
So most of the time you will bind it to a variable and the variable will change given a workflow, and change workflow. Or maybe you're missing data from the back, so you're waiting for an API call.
Makes sense.
Okay, here we want actually the caret, I think. height and FA solid, if I remember. Yeah. For brand or euro. What are they called? Oh, it's this thing. What's the angle left? I was
Angle
lucky. Let's just choose a width of, I don't know, 32 pixels. More, 48. Yeah, and make it a square. Yeah, nice. So let's just copy paste it. Use a different arrow. So angle. Ah, yeah, here. Oh, I'm always lost in these things. That's something we
It would
should
be
work.
cool if if the search worked on all the icons, not by category. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I know that we have like lots of work to do on this thing. So
yeah.
Then let's just choose a new text. Drag it, drop it between buttons. Up. And actually, if I use the month, I used horizontal.
It's because you were just taking the entire height.
Yeah, I know, but this button should be centered too, so why?
Ah, right.
You know what? To be sure, I will wrap the text in a div. Because in a Flexbox, always better to have only, like, have children that are all blocks. And actually, a text isn't a block, it's an inline element. So what I can do is that now I can center this. I can use this like so. I don't want to wrap. The height should be auto though. Why is it taking the whole size of this thing?
Maybe the container has a stretch? No? Container?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
it.
this is.
See, the container has the alignment is so if you
where? Here?
No, the parent container. But
yeah.
it's okay. The parent container, the alignment is.
You're right. You're totally right. Okay, so now if I do this and auto, yeah, it is working. Thanks. Okay. Sometimes I'm getting lost in this thing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so now margins. Let's use 12 pixels top, bottom, and here. Oh, you know what? Because I will do this on all the buttons. It doesn't have sense. Let's just use the padding on the container. So here, padding 12. This is better. November 2022. Let's check the. So this is Inter 18 pixel 475569. It was 80. Yeah, 18. Okay. Is it the grayish thing? Yeah. Seems to be medium. Yeah. Medium. And I think that's it. So we've got the first part. Now for the funky stuff, the calendar. What we'll do is that last time we've done this live already in French, and I think I used columns because it was easier to say that I wanted every element to take 1/7 of the width, because in columns you can like create your own grid basically. So by default, we created them so that people coming from Bootstrap, for example, they are not lost, because back in the days before Flexbox, what people used to do is that they were making a div and automatically like separating it in like 12 columns, for example. And so we backported this, and the cool thing is that we can change the number of columns. So here it will be really easy, because I will just say that I will have 7 columns, and automatically it will split in 7 equal parts. So to do this, you can go use the column element. First, let me just add a div to just englobe, like have all my calendar at the same place. Let's go here, calendar. Yeah, I have 2 things called calendar. No, it's not dates. Yeah. So anyway, I have 2 calendar divs. I will change the name later. The 8 is maybe I can use this for the 8. Cheat now so that they take the whole space. Yeah. So in fact, I will revert to what I was doing before. So 8 here, fixed. And that's it. So that I know that this thing should be taking the whole 8. Why is it not? Nope. Let me check. I'm just breaking everything, sorry. Top, yeah.
Gonna come spy inside.
I don't remember I've done it before.
Let me look. Don't know if you noticed my little icon creep up.
Yeah.
Because the calendar is taking...
Because I have to say, maybe on the parent, I have to say that children, they take the whole...
Because which one are you trying? Because the calendar has a... Okay, so the calendar has a fixed height. And then the month is auto. And this is auto as well. So you would expect it to...
Because one thing that could do is that, like, set height on this. So I think it was 61, 62, 3, 4, 3, 63. And now what I can do is this one. I know that my whole container is like 440. So I can say height is calc 440 px minus 64 px. Why? Okay, just say, yeah, I don't need calc. I just need, because it is actually JavaScript, so 440 minus 64 plus px. And that's it. I think there's a better way to do this. Because I think I've done this better during the last stream, but yeah, I don't remember how. So I'm just doing a computation because basically formula is some JavaScript and string concatenation to add pixels, and then I have the rest of it. So yeah. And now let's just choose columns. So actually one column here, taking the whole width, 100%.
It's in the looking at what we did on the previous stream. I think the only difference I see is the alignment of the calendar container. But anyway, now you found another solution, which is also good.
We'll have to change it later. So what I can do is that add the text to do the month. So text here. Let's add Monday. And let's just copy paste. So this is like week, day, and what we want to do. You know what? I like being lazy, so I will do variable days in week, which is an array, and I will add Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Hello, Sofiane. Now what I can do is bind my columns, like these items, to the days in week. I can bind the text to the content, and here I have my days. Now I can go over so the columns, and what I was saying is like the unit count is 12, and just have to put 7. And you see this is taking 1/7 of the space by default. And now I can align the text at the center. And that's pretty cool.
Thanks, Sofiane. Appreciate it. Someday you'll have to come and show your face on the stream as well.
Okay, now let's use some padding top and bottom. I think here we had like 12 pixels, so let's just use that to 12. Nice. So I have my month. Now I have to check what the font is. 14 and grayish, and it's also medium. And see the advantage of doing this, like binding, is that I have to do the design only on one item. It's getting replicated on all of them, because technically under the hood, they're all the same item. I didn't think about that on Monday.
On Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
During the French Live.
So many ways to do apps. That's kind of cool, actually. Placeholders, yep. Now this is working. So now that we have the
curious,
weeks, yeah.
I want to ask Sofiane how his project is doing. I'm currently spying on his recettes project, and it looks really good. So I'm wondering how it's been going. It was a beta test, I think. I'd love to know how it's evolved.
Small thing I have to do is on this thing, I have to add also padding 12, not 20, please. Just 12. Okay, so let's align here because we'll like add a new div for the calendar, and I want it to be aligned with the buttons here. So replicating the padding. And that should be, yeah, that should be it. Next, let's just reuse columns that we, so another one called calendar. I really need a later naming convention because I have 3 calendars in my But yeah, so width is 100 pixels. Let's just remove the padding. Also here, let's remove this. We want also this to be 7 units. And yeah, so then what we can do, actually, because I'm being also lazy, we can use a formula to get the right number of days in the week. So it's 35. So one way to do this is to create a function for this that will generate a range of numbers up to a point, so like 35. I don't think we've got this in WeWeb, so what I was doing last time is like JavaScript generate range. So it's actually in my history still. And there's a cool way to do this is just to generate a fake array and just taking the keys, so the indexes, and actually we'll get exactly this. So I will just copy this, because what the cool thing with WeWeb is that you can use JavaScript and create no-code formula from JavaScript. So we'll add a formula. I have this already here. Forgot that I already made it. And you see, so I used the same like the same JavaScript that I have in my example, except I'm using here the max variable, which comes from the function. So let's say we want to recreate just to show you. So generate range 2. So I will need a max parameters, because in the formulas I want to variabilize the numbers that will be generated. So I will create a new parameter called max.
What do you mean? Depending on the number of days there in the month, or?
For example, if I want to reuse this function to just generate 7 numbers, for example, or like 24, I don't know. And then I can create a parameter called number. I will go into JavaScript. I will copy paste the example from Stack Overflow, which give us like only 0, 4, so 5 items. Because remember that so something people forget in no code, but actually in programming, like arrays, they are indexes, they are beginning at 0 and not 1. And then I just have to change this by here the parameter max. And here we've got, we have to work on this, but basically this is working. And it will change the max number in the array. And then, because I have my generate range function, what I can do is that on the calendar, the items, I can bind it like to my function, my formula, in from projects, generate range. Then I can put 35, and you see
just the parameter, like the max.
Yeah, exactly. And now I have to say that each of these Flexbox is 1 item. So why? Okay, because it's taking 7, so I have to say it's taking 1. Yeah, and that's it. I have basically my calendar here. Not finished, obviously, but I have it. What I can do to better see it is like add a text and bind it to the actual number from generate range. So those are fake numbers, obviously, then we'll replace by real numbers, but you see, I have my numbers from 0 to 34.
Sofiane is saying his project is going great. He has a few friends and Curious Person that are interested. I still need to finish a few things on the front end, and hope it will be open for mid-December. Awesome.
Nice.
And
Feel free to
thanks,
send
the
it, man.
green suits me. It's actually it's a brand it's a brand for women soccer players. So anyway, it's a sports
Nice.
brand for women, and I like it.
Nice. Okay, so now checking the color of this. 14 pixels regular and this kind of bluish thing. 14 pixels regular and bluish stuff. It's like, I don't know which one is it, blue-gray? Yeah, this is it. No, on each element I just have to say that I want some padding top and bottom, so let's just use maybe 12, 16. Yeah, better. So now I have my calendar, and on the columns what I can do is add also the corner radius, so 12 pixels, and a border, 1 pix solid border. And now I have my calendar. So the thing is, we won't have the time during this live to do this, but now, oops, sorry, Siri just got crazy. But we'll need to add, how do you say this? We'll need to have borders to each of these items. But the thing is, if I'm adding border here, so let's just show it to you. You see that it's adding everywhere. So like here, it's becoming a 2
Left and
pixels
right,
border,
so,
and it's
yeah.
weird because they both have it. And also we'll need a way to either tell, like, we don't want borders at the end of a line or at the last line at the bottom, depending. And if we go, one way to do this is just to do left and left and bottom, or like right and up, you know. But anyway, we'll get an issue with this, because if I'm saying only, let's say, right and bottom, see, I will still need to remove this one and remove this one.
Yeah.
So that's a topic. I have a first answer for this because I thought about this during this week, but we'll do next time, because basically we'll need to compute if the cell is a multiple of 7, I think, or yeah, something like that. Like if the 7th cell, so it's at the end of a line, and also if it's on the last line. So that would require some computation. And we'll need to merge this with, also we'll need to use JavaScript functions to get the actual months of the year, and which month, which day is today, and also which days we should like display but that are not technically in the month. You see here like the gray things,
Yeah.
they are like not from November, they're like from the month before and after, and we'll need some functions in JavaScript to do this. But I think I have some answers already after taking to our CPO
Nice.
and some devs. So yeah.
And we'll look into that in a couple of weeks, because next week we will be traveling, so we won't be able to
true.
host this live stream. But it's good. It'll give us a little bit of time to think about it. And TD Nueve is asking if we plan to add the option to have the Google BigQuery as a data source. And the answer is yes, except it will not be directly connected with Google BigQuery. At the moment, I mean, we started doing the exploration because during the No Code Summit, I think 4 or 5 people asked us. So Q actually did a couple of, did 4 or 5 exploration calls with users who would like to use BigQuery. And our CPO started looking into it further, and it's, at the moment, we think we'll probably develop a data source with Azure that will allow people to use BigQuery through that layer. But it's something we're working
We
on, and I think Q will right away add TD Nueve's pseudonym to our product logs.
yeah
Because it's definitely
we
something we're considering.
yeah we'll like push people on using that. Azura, for example, is open source, but it's not sending, by the way, so let me send it again. But it's open source tools that helps you creating APIs on top of databases, because the problem with databases is that if you query them from the front end, it's totally unprotected. Like everybody could sniff your requests in the user's browser, so in the dev tools, and could take possession of your database. Like it's called SQL injection, so it's totally unsafe, except if you're behind authentication system, but still it's not recommended. So why we want to push people, and also like doing this with like BigQuery is used to store lots of data, so you will have to do like big complex SQL queries, and doing this in the front end is not efficient. So what we will help people is like creating an API, be it REST or like GraphQL, on top of these databases using, for example, open source products, and then we'll integrate deeply with these products.
All right, cool. So SQL data source are not safe. I'll let you take that one too.
SQL data sources are not safe if you're using a public app. If you're behind the authentication system, that's okay-ish. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it though, but they are not as secure. They pass through a server, so that's okay. But if you're using, for example, in SQL, you need a user, a database user, and if he has like all of the rights on the database, anybody watching, like going into the DevTools in the user browser and watching your requests, they could like use this user to do other requests, like for example, just deleting all your records or updating them without you knowing. So the best way, and it's actually the developer way to do this, is to create a backend on top of your database, like a small server, because you should never normally use a SQL database directly from a front-end app.
All right. We have to run. Thanks a lot for showing up today. We're not here next week, but we'll be there in a couple of weeks, and hope to see the hackathon participants next week. And see you all very soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.